Okay, Rob Ellis, Horizontal Land Partners. Today we are going to be looking at a smaller community. We propose something called Space City, which is a connector. There are already communities going in Valusia County in the very southern tips. We're going to go to Google Earth, show you this submarket. When we do it, we like to go in, exhaust all resources, get to know them, look at land availability. We're going to look at Deltona. So we've made one or two offers in this submarket. This is it. And you can see how far they have reach all the way down into here, almost to Austin, right? When you get to areas like this, you have the ability to pick. Here are some. You see there's some newer communities going in. There's been some newer developments down here. And so we're looking at as this grows, even here, you see how they Sunshine Estates is in Austin, Florida. So we're looking at a lot of this. This is where we propose that this should be a connector and expand it. So we also want to look at the corridor here. We want to try to get land holdings and start to understand this. We believe that this stretch, I think it's 11 miles. Let's take a look. This is quite an expansion. Let's see how many that is in miles. 16 miles is an expansion route that should be a large infrastructure run like US 52. And in order to do that, with a big highway extension to bring in connect this, and this would become a very large, as you can see, connector. You have US 44 up here that connects these. You have 4 that comes across and up. This already brings it in, but as this continues to grow, there are a couple of different ways. We offered over in here, depending on where you look and what the opportunities are, but we're following the tracks of residential development. And we look at municipalities. Let's see if one of these is incorporated. We look at municipal Lake Ashby Shores. Unincorporated, no government, no jurisdictions. It falls to that. Okay, so that's not. Now, what we're looking at is, okay, what are the next big ones, right? If all of this grew, right? You can see Orange City up here. They put in an expansion and how much it's grown, right? Here's a lot of these, but you have to be able to find land that makes a lot of sense. So Orange City is, parts of this are a lot more difficult to develop. Same with the land and a lot of this same as well. But you can see how much infrastructure has gone in and how large those are. So we're Austin, Florida. I think it has a population of 1,000 or 2,000 people. Unincorporated. Wow. No municipal government. Disincorporated. Wow, that is surprising. That is very, very interesting from a development perspective. If we had a land tract close by, would we want to be county or city? Or it doesn't matter? Or depends on utility? Do they have utility system outside of Deltona? We have to look at precedent. Utilities, permitting, speed, cost, and long-term control. Municipal utility system, water and sewer, but it does not extend, does not have a countywide utility, private, unincorporated, rural agricultural, city of Deltona. Yes, but there are subdivisions like, let's look on the map, which would probably need to be Cove Estates. It might not be municipal, it might be county. 55 plus manufactured, private managed land, Deltona Waters or by CDDs, Deltona's utility district, annexation agreement. Okay, so what it's telling us to do, it's going further out is going to become more difficult. And typically we want to stay within an overlay. So, in terms of Valusia County, what municipalities cover the most land by acreage? Top 5. Port Orange. Deltona is the most populated. Um, Top 10. There's 16 municipalities in Valusia County. Daytona Beach, Ormond, Edgewater, DeLand, Orange City. Where are the most new construction housing units for sale? If you scrape all these municipalities. So we're looking at this sub-market a little bit further because we're running out of land in Deltona. Deltona, Daytona Beach, DeLand, Ormond Beach, Port Orange, entry level. Okay, so at the end of the day, we just look for new land tracks. So we're gonna go land for sale, Valusia County. We we've been looking at 20 plus acres under 1 million. So you can see Orange City looks like it's growing. They mentioned that. A lot of the times you want to be close to. The thing is, we can't even find land tracks. Um, so getting control of them is an amazing opportunity. Let's see here. If this says Port Orange. New construction options, diverse buyer preferences. Where's Port Orange though? It looks like you can see how they're extending, and I wonder if you can come down to here. This must be the growing areas. planning, acquiring, and operating, maintaining computer-wide a CDD solutions about the district. Let's take a look. Let's look here. Here's the Board of Supervisors, Waypoint CDD. Let's see who these guys are. This is a great example. Can you see what development code this company is with? And this is a new CDD, what it covers. $1,600 homes. West side of Daytona Beach, initiated by the Living Trust, rezoned 365 acres from Volusia County to a PDG, which is pushing it. And maintain infrastructure and services, responsibility, stormwater, landscaping, ad valorem. There's no residents in there. How large is the district? What's the address of the development site? South of I-4, west of I-95. Let's go to our map. South of I-4. South of I-4, west of I-95. Wow, it's right by the landfill. That's crazy. West of I-95. East, access to development via 3 points along east of Tomoka. So I wonder if they are, let's see if we can cover it. This is so made up. It's crazy. Not for us. That's going to be a long time. And I'm not speculative, so we're going to pass on that. Definitely not. Let's see what else we got available in this county. This is for lot 17. So let's look here. This is a larger land tract development company that is chopping up large land tracts. Let's see if it's within a municipality. We're going to check future use overlays. South Village. So these are early entry, very early entry. Omega Ranch Road. There's 44. Omega Ranch Road. Where is it? Unless it's this. Oh God, that's ugly. Too far out. Let's keep looking. We might have run out of sites up here in Valusia County for now. Let's look a little more. Let's check this out. I like to look at historic. Wow. There's just nothing. Oh, here we go. Looks like a mobile home park. These look like mobile home parks. Just not enough development activity. Not gonna happen. I don't think I've offered on Coachman yet. Let's take a look here. And we know the stuff inside and out. 400 days. We'll take the risk. All right, we found it. We'll offer on the last one. And ugh, we're gonna start with building a profile and development feasibility. All righty. Now, what we like about this, it's within municipality. I start from scratch. And what I do is we have templates now. So, and I think this is going to be probably our last one in Valusia County. We're going to have to move on to others. So we're going to go on to this. This was another site inside of Deltona. And we are going to talk about, I have a parcel we are going through. This is the info, and I need to build a feasibility report and overview. I need to get the appropriate info for you. This site is smaller and landlocked, and within the overlay, it's been on the market for for 1 year plus. We have offered to option another, but this one is within the municipality. I think it will be similar overlays, but let me feed you the info, and as I feed it, you can modify. Here's the listing info. And model off of the attached document, but we don't have any due diligence. Let me get more info on it. Okay, so what we have is this is a feasibility report. It's going to read it and come up with one similar to that. This is much simpler. Okay, so we got a good start. Okay, the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna find this parcel ID and start doing our deep dive. This is great that it's been on for so long. Sometimes you don't want to take, wow, they've been dropping the price like crazy too. That is insane. And that means that they may not want to, that is just unbelievably in our favor. They haven't really dropped it in a while. They're definitely going to be happy because we would have bought this up a while back, but it depends because that's a problem with land availability. It becomes something that you, let's see here. Let's see here. Let me find the parcel ID for this. Okay, so we're gonna go to Volusia County Auditor and find this one. Real property search by parcel. Non-ag, Deltona Lakes. You have to be one, you have to absolutely make sure that there's no reserves or set asides. So we're gonna add more here. Here is county parcel sheet. Bring in all relevant data. Deltona Lakes, Unit 54, fee simple. Presumed look at overlay compatibility, millage rates, land only, 90 to 105. We'll do better. Price per acre, proposed Coachman land holdings. That's right. Talks about the breakouts, infrastructure, and municipal. And let's see if pre-existing capital, brokerage. All right. Okay. Now, so we're gonna check flood maps. A lot of the times you have to look at residential blended density, non-ag, and the frontages. Where are we getting access to this? So it said it was Coachman, I think. What's the street? So if we're coming off Coachman, we have to look at the overlay and see where the access is going to be. Let's look at the frontage. A lot of the times you need to look at the actual plat and utilities and where it's coming in. It might have multiple frontage points. Okay, so we're going to check floodplains. This is the next one. This is what an environmental firm would do, but we also check we need to pull these out of the floodplain and get rid of flood insurance, which we've done plenty of times. Let's see here, search floodplain by address. This is Coachman. Okay. And this is why you check them. They're zone A's. You can see where a lot of these are designated. We are looking at, you see how this is within a zone A. Can you build in a zone A? I haven't seen it done. So it looks like this sits in a, I don't think it's so. We typically, that's the lowest risk. Uh, what is the development potential of a zone A floodplain lot? BFE not established. There we go. FEMA studies. Okay. How would I find the Lomer removal history? So you can look at, I'm going to say, can you provide some commentary on this site? It's in a zone A, it looks like. They must be above the BFE, which we did a little bit less. Zone A requires floodplain development permit. Properties are subject to mandatory flood insurance, potentially impacting it. We just raise it up as much as possible, which is very common. How many developments in this area have been removed out of a zone A? Put a contours map help. Where is the USDA Uh, okay, so this shows the history of it. This is from your free site, but isn't there a USDA soils report I can look up? Does this help? We'll say, can you provide some commentary? We've done this before. We've developed lots in floodplains. Okay, we've done one of this before. Topographic. Can you talk? We need a more defined contours map. Let's see here. Where is the best contours map and soil data for feasibility? Map viewer with 1 or 2 foot. So we're looking for, what was the parcel number? So where is the frontage? Coachman Drive. Captain Drive, Snow, White Horse Court. It's right by White Horse Court. This is tough to find. White Horse Court. Okay. So it looks like not all of these were built out. It looks like it's right here. But if it has a frontage on Coachman, we need to look at access. Okay, let's see here. Let's go back to the auditor's site. We need to look at the map and look at where the frontage is at. Although if there's county-owned land, This owner is Razia Estates. It's technical. These could be the access points. There is a tract of land, Irondale Street, which hasn't been developed. It looks like it could. This is another large land holding co. So I think access is what we would be worried about on this site. It almost looks like you would bring it off of this street expansion, which has already been, it looks like the frontage is right here and would go out like this. I don't see any other access. You can see a little bit here. And so what we do is we overlay this like this. We take the land track here, and we typically need plenty. You can see how these were pulled out. This is a Captain Drive, could be extended, probably. There's two streets here. If these have been developed, these tracks like this over time, I think they just want to look at, there might be a part of a larger master plan to connect all these. And uh, I think that we would need to, the only frontage that it has no developed frontage. And I can hold on to this and say that it is Deltona. That is Captain Drive as well. So it has no frontage over here. Coachman. There are plenty. I just don't think we could. I don't think this gap is large enough to get access, even though this is the frontage. We can measure it. That says 20 feet. That's probably literally 20 feet. There's already a house here. And I don't think the government owns any of this other stuff. Donna, Donna. There were some undeveloped tracks over here. But it looks like maybe Coachman is supposed to connect since there's Coachman and Captain. So we'll say, let's go to our development feasibility. From what I'm looking at, we'd need a 50-foot right of way dedication, which would come from not Coachman, because this actually doesn't have any frontage. There is county owned land to the northwest corner of the site, but the clearance is only 20 feet. It looks like from the screenshots, there is a right of way dedication potentially for Captain to be extended. Let's see how wide it is. Oh yeah, that's much better. We just need to measure it. 64.7. And then we just have to measure it to get to our parcel. A lot of the times when you have old land tracks, this is what happened. This is what happens. So let's see where we're at. 350 feet and a 67-foot wide extension to get to our parcel. So I believe that is mislabeled, and our site has massive frontage. If that is the case, that would be how much linear feet of frontage. They may want us to connect it. They might want us to bring this entire thing in, which I think that this needs to be connected down the middle. (2,000 feet extension). A 2,100 foot extension to connect the throughway, which also has a public dedication of another street called Irondale.